In today's video, I'm going to talk about how the process of getting off of prescription medications brings about a very positive paradigm shift, a change in how you view the world and in how you view yourself. Stay tuned, I know you'll enjoy it. Hello there everyone and welcome back to The Lovely Grind. My name is Michael Preby and my website is lovelygrind.com. I hope you'll visit that website, check out all of my blog posts. That's where you can find information about my coaching and my courses. So give that a view, and also thank you for coming back to view my YouTube channel and today's video, which is about how finding freedom from medications, the process of getting off medications, how this all brings about a very positive paradigm shift, or a shift in how you view yourself and the world around you. So just to recap my story quickly, I was on an SSRI Paxil and a Benzo medication Xanax for more than a dozen years. I was prescribed those medications for panic attacks and anxiety way back in college, and I've now been off them for more than a decade. Never regret that decision, and although I had to endure a withdrawal process, it wasn't just pain. There was a lot of good that came out of this whole thing, and that's why I'm making these videos, so that you can keep your eye on the bigger picture as well, because even if you're experiencing symptoms, there's a beneficial healing process going on. So, paradigm, what is that? Well, that's the ideas, the concepts, the assumptions that help to shape our worldview. And I think there's a very important, very healthy shift in paradigm that then affects how we see ourselves in the world. And this all happens as we move away from the idea of prescription medications and the maybe daily use of prescription medications that many people have become accustomed to. I was recently reading a book where it said that when people go through a life-threatening situation, they often experience a shift in paradigm, a shift in priorities and ideas and concepts that make up how they view things in their lives. And that got me thinking about this whole topic, thinking about, well, how does the process of getting off of medications and indeed breaking free from medications affect one's worldview, our ideas, and our assumptions about things? Well, today I'm going to talk about 4 of them. First, there's a shift in how you view responsibility for your own wellness. Whereas once upon a time, a person might rely solely or at least mostly on doctors and perhaps psychiatrists, a combination of the two, to tell one how to be healthy. You go through this process and you begin realizing that a healthy life, good wellness, basically starts with yourself, with how you take care of yourself on a daily basis, day in and day out, the little things and the big things. And nobody's perfect in this, but the idea of how we eat, if we exercise, what sorts of stresses are in our life, how we talk to ourselves and think about ourselves, what our spiritual life looks like, what supplements we might or might not be taking, what decisions we might make, how we might complicate or not complicate things for ourselves by indeed refusing to get involved with medications. This is an important shift that happens. Whereas you might have once looked at doctors or psychiatrists to tell you how to be healthy, you now realize that you can inform yourself with regards to how to be healthy. And you also realize that a lot of health and wellness is proactive and preventative, not reactive. And by that I mean it's lifestyle. It's how we take care of ourselves every day. The little things and the big things, they have a cumulative effect on how we feel. They can leave us feeling well a month from now, or 10 months from now, or 2 years from now, or they can add up to us feeling not well. And then we become reactive. And that's when people often say, okay, there's this symptom, I need to go to a doctor or psychiatrist to tell me what's wrong and how to fix it. So that's an important shift that happens. You take ownership of your own health and wellness and realize that the things you do are really important. The things you put in your head are important. The ideas, they affect stress levels. They affect anxiety levels. The people you spend time with, their energy and their ideas either uplift you or drag you down. Your professional environment might be a source of great fulfillment and joy for you, or a source of stress and indeed over time depression. Getting outdoors, making sure you're taking care of your inner self and your spiritual life. These and many other things are just very important parts of your health and wellness that you are responsible for. And for me, that was a bit of a shift. I admit, I was a bit lazy on many of those things while I was on medications, in part because of how medications made me obtuse to those things and made me lazy in those regards. So that is one important shift that happens as a person gets off medications. You realize that a lot of health and wellness starts and ends with you and how you care for yourself. And there's a lot of information online. You don't need necessarily a doctor or psychiatrist to be telling you how to be healthy. Another important shift that happens is the release of mental health labels. And let me explain that. Now, I studied quite a bit of psychology way back when in college, and I understand there's a subsection of individuals that have serious clinical conditions. Just one that you could throw out there, let's say schizophrenia, for example. All right, so I'm not saying there is no benefit in having categories of diagnosis for people and then treatment methods. But what happened with the mass marketing of antidepressant and benzodiazepine medications, the mass marketing of mental health labels also came into play, right? The mass distribution, perhaps I should say, of mental health labels. So it went from what you could call niche to general. Everyone experiencing job stress or anxiety about school or problems with self-image or going through a period of grief or transition. Next thing you know, they could go into a psychiatrist or a doctor's office and be given a label by means of a very quick questionnaire, perhaps, as was the case with me. So you can be labeled as having panic disorder, generalized anxiety, maybe both, depressive disorder, obsessive compulsive thinking, attention deficit, so on and so forth. And I think one shift that happens when you go through the admittedly challenging process of getting off these medications and then learning how to stay off them, you shift how you look at such labels. You don't see yourself as having a label anymore. You shed that label. You break free of that idea that you're constrained by some doctor or psychiatrist mental health label that was put upon you once upon a time. That's an important part of healing. And as you move forward in life after getting off of these medications, you begin to view things differently in this respect. And hopefully you begin to view yourself as a human being like all others that has some challenges and some physiological responses to stimuli and transition and other things. And you just commit to working on yourself and taking care of yourself without the need to put a label on yourself. Another important shift that happens when a person gets off these medications is that there is an increased capacity to understand, embrace, and engage with bigger picture thinking. And by that, I mean thinking about how things affect your future, how a decision might affect not just 10 minutes from now, but 10 years from now. And being able to not get so caught up in the immediate idea of needing to push down and get away from any discomfort and stress, but understanding that discomfort and stress don't have to be the big picture. They might just be things to be coped through in the short term. You have a greater ability to realize that periods of pain and discomfort and stress do pass, and they don't necessarily need drastic reactions or actions from us to do so. Let me talk about my own case, for example. When I was on the medications, it was like I had lost the ability to discern how certain decisions were going to affect me. A month down the road, a year down the road, etc. It's almost like I had reverted to a very juvenile, reactive way of thinking. If you recall, like when you were in high school or maybe younger, everything seems so immediate, right? If you can't get to that party that's going on the weekend, it seems like the end of the world. If you don't make the cut on the sports team, it seems like the sky is falling. If you're going through some sort of pain or heartache, it seems like it's going to be the end of you. It's a very juvenile way of thinking. And I think these medications keep people locked in that juvenile way of thinking. And indeed, they get in the way of being able to have a more mature view of what's going on in your life, how to put things into perspective, and how to think about how the decisions you make affect, again, not just today or tomorrow, but next month and next year and 10 years from now. So once a person gets off these medications, you have a greater ability to think that way, to put things into the proper perspective, to not get so myopic and caught up in the day-to-day stresses and anxieties, and also to really have a broader view of, okay, how do the decisions I'm making now, health and wellness wise, affect not only this month, but 5 or 10 years from now and so forth. So that's a great benefit to getting off of these medications. It's something that I hope everyone's embracing as they go through this process. Finally, when a person gets off these medications, there is a shift in empowerment. Whereas there were once almost supernatural powers attributed to these medications, where a person thought, okay, I can't sleep without medications. I can't feel joy without medications. I can't get to work or drive or socialize without medications. Now you understand you can do these things, okay? You can find joy and fulfillment without medications. You can sleep again without medications. You can have energy without medications. You can cope through difficult circumstances, uncomfortable circumstances without medications. It won't be the end of you. These things pass. There's an empowerment that comes, hopefully greater self-confidence, a greater and ever-increasing belief in your own capabilities and inner strength, right? And a part of what you're going through right now might be very difficult, but you are building inner strength, and there's a whole lot of positives that are going to come out of this process. So you have a lot to look forward to. If things are challenging right now, please keep going. I hope that some of the ideas in this video will help you to do that, help to remind you of the importance of what you're doing, the benefits of what you are doing. My name is Michael Preby. My website's lovelygrind.com. You can go there, check out my coaching, courses, and blog posts. And as always, please remember to take care of yourself and your dreams.